Next question is for AG Bonta. I understand that today's discussion centered around K to 12 education, but could you speak to any initiatives or efforts related to higher education? As a reporter covering the Greater Bay Area, home to established institutions like UC Berkeley, San Francisco State, and Stanford, I'd like to know more about what college students can expect in response to the broader pushback against President Trump and Linda McMahon's actions impacting higher education.
Sure, absolutely. We've often been asked, how do you set your agenda for what kind of cases that you'll bring? And the cases that we bring are fully reliant and dependent on what the Trump administration does. And our North Star is the rule of law, the Constitution, and making sure that the Trump administration only does lawful things. So it depends on him. And so these 8 cases, we didn't decide we wanted 8 cases in the K-12 education space. That's just they're in response to Trump's unlawful conduct in the education space. And he's also been unlawful when it comes to the higher education space, specifically when it comes to National Institutes of Health funding, NIH funding. We have 2 cases in that space where he has wrongly withheld funding for both direct costs and indirect costs for National Institutes of Health. This is critical research funding to tackle things like Alzheimer's and cancer and post-traumatic stress disorder, other key public health and health issues. Also, when it comes to National Science Foundation funding that goes to universities, including in those universities in California that receive it. We've taken steps and have a lawsuit in that regard. So those are 3 of our 31 lawsuits. They specifically impact universities and colleges in California and throughout the nation. And then when we don't necessarily have standing, but we care about an issue and want to get involved, we file amicus briefs. And you're well aware of the attacks by the Trump administration that are unlawful against Harvard University. We wrote an amicus brief in that regard as well, making sure that the principles at stake in that case are able to be addressed appropriately, and we don't want to see any harm to any other universities in that same regard where unlawful conduct by the Trump administration is targeted towards those universities. So those are just a few examples of some of our important work in the university and college space.
Okay, 2 more questions. You mentioned that California has filed 31 lawsuits against the Trump administration since the start of his second term. How many successes have we seen since January?
We have and court has issued an order, and at this point in the litigation, it's usually a temporary restraining order or a preliminary injunction. We have prevailed. So the answer to your question is we have been broadly successful, and that's by design and intent, and the important thinking of our teams. Again, we bring cases when we've done a deep dive into the law and an appropriate review of the facts, and we apply the law to the facts, and we've determined that unlawful conduct has been taken. And so we go to court and we secure the order. There have been cases where we have gone to court, filed the lawsuit, and had a restraining order within hours, like same day, not days, not weeks. Not months. And I know there's a view that litigation takes a long time. Some parts of litigation do take time to get to a final judgment in the case, but to get to a temporary restraining order or a preliminary injunction, that can be very quick, especially when there is imminent irreparable harm, as there are in our cases. So we have secured many preliminary injunctions and temporary restraining orders. We can give you the full overview, but when courts make orders in our cases, we have broadly been prevailing.